Now at 5, we're going to hear from a former resident of Pitcher, Oklahoma about the 10th anniversary of the municipality's dissolution. Plus, we'll see the moment 2 service members surprised their kids at school after 10 months deployed overseas. And
Ivanka Trump takes the witness stand at the Trump Organization civil fraud trial. I'm Michael George with how she responded to questions from prosecutors.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
10 years after the municipality of Pitcher, Oklahoma was officially dissolved, former residents still cherish the memories of the small Oklahoma town. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Most town structures that weren't demolished collapsed or were destroyed by fire or tornado and or abandoned. According to the people who we spoke to, 5 families still live in that area. While for many, Pitcher is now a ghost town, for locals, it's their forever hometown.
If a stranger rolled into town and asked you what street, most people didn't know all the streets, but they could ask you, you could ask them what person are you looking for, and we could tell you where they're at just by the name of the person.
There actually is 1.5 million gallons of bad mine water, acid mine water full of heavy metals coming out of Tar Creek and down Tar Creek every day.
Because of the years of mining in Pitcher, high levels of lead were found in the huge chap piles around the town and the groundwater. Besides that, some buildings shown to be at risk of caving in because of the undermining. In 2009, the Environmental Protection Agency evacuated the town. The KOAM Nation got the contract from the EPA to deal with the Superfund site. According to the KOAM Nation, since 2013, more than 7 million tons of waste has been removed at the Tar Creek Superfund site, intending to bring the land to a, quote, better state of existence. A pair of local service members surprised their kids at school after nearly a year in Africa. The fathers, Joshua Watson and Colton Owens, are part of the Missouri National Guard's 294th Engineer Company. Today, the company finally returned home after 10 months. Watson and Owens then made their way to a McKinley Elementary in Joplin, where they dressed up as mascots to surprise their kids before being swallowed up with hugs.
I want you in. Hey! I miss you, bro.
It's very emotional, very, very emotional. Just very anxious and ready. It was hard to keep the mask on and not just show them I'm right here.
I tried not to let my knees buckle. I saw him, and my heart started racing. I was like trying so hard not to go up and grab him, give him a hug, but yeah, definitely like surprised me, like how I would feel about it.
The Guard members hadn't been home since January 5th. Special Olympics athletes in Pittsburgh today hit the bowling lanes. Special Olympics Kansas hosted the Southeast Regional Youth Bowling event at Holiday Lanes Bowling Alley. It was a chance for the athletes to have some fun while hanging out with friends.
Build that relationship, but also that inclusion piece. I say often to my athletes and my volunteers that our athletes don't want to be just asked to go to the dance, they want to be asked to dance, and this gives that opportunity for them to build those relationships and really get to compete with a partner and on a team all day long.
Next week, Special Olympics Kansas will host a Leadership Training Youth Summit at the Red Iron Activity Center in Columbus. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us now.
Well, it turned out to be another great day for us today. Near record highs across the region. We had mostly sunny skies. Temperatures did rebound back into the 80s during the afternoon. Now, we do have a cold front that is pushing through, so this is going to cool us back down as we go through the next couple days. It still looks good right now. We're looking at Joplin and Pittsburgh. Temperatures are into the 70s, but we're tumbling. Look at this. Yates Center 66, and then you have Anderson sitting at 81 degrees. So those northerly winds are kicking in, and it's going to stay breezy as we go through the overnight hours, but it's going to be quite a bit cooler. Temperatures are going to drop all the way back into the mid-40s later on tonight. We do have a few clouds out there, but besides that, we look pretty good. Your evening planner, we slide back through the 60s, 50s, into the 40s. It's going to be cooler over the next few days, so we're going to be talking about that here in just a little bit.
See you soon. The Minnesota Supreme Court today dismissed an effort to keep former President Donald Trump off of the state's primary ballot in 2024. Arguments began last week in the trial after a group of voters sued to ban Trump from the 2024 GOP primary and general election ballots. Their lawsuit argued that Trump's alleged efforts to overturn his 2020 election loss to President Joe Biden violated the Constitution. With the court's dismissal of the case, Trump will be allowed on the ballot. The third Republican presidential debate takes place tonight in Miami, Florida. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, tech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, and Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina are all expected to participate with foreign policy and the Middle East among key topics. The GOP hopefuls are also likely to take aim at the leading candidate, former President Trump, who is skipping the debate and holding a rally in a nearby suburb instead. A fourth Trump family member took the stand today in the civil trial alleging widespread fraud in the family business. Michael George reports from Lower Manhattan about Ivanka Trump's testimony.
Ivanka Trump arrived at the New York courthouse, the prosecution's final witness in the Trump Organization's civil fraud trial.
How you doing, Ivanka?
The former president's daughter is not a defendant, though her father and brothers are. She played a central role in managing her father's relationship with banks, but she calmly testified she had no role in his personal financial statements. Prosecutors say those statements included inflated valuations, which helped the business secure loans and insurance.
You cannot hide from the truth.
New York Attorney General Letitia James says Trump's daughter is trying to distance herself from the business.
Miss Trump will do all that she can to try to separate herself from this corporation, but she's inextricably tied to the Trump Organization and to these properties that she helped secure financing for.
On the stand, Ms. Trump said more than a dozen times she could not recall details of her loan negotiations and does not remember reviewing documents that valued the company's assets. The president and his two sons have already testified and denied any wrongdoing, each of them defiant after taking their turn on the witness stand.
This is a scam, and this is a case that should have never been brought, and it's a case that now should be dismissed.
And this is a big charade that's a huge waste of taxpayer money.
The judge has already ruled that Donald Trump and his company committed fraud. The trial will decide the penalty and additional charges, including conspiracy and insurance fraud.
The state attorney general is seeking more than $300 million in penalties and a ban on Trump doing business in New York. The war in Gaza has angered many Americans and led to public protests supporting one side or the other. Those emotions overflowed last night in the House of Representatives as it voted to censure the only member of Congress with Palestinian roots. Michigan Representative Rashida Tlaib has repeatedly denounced Israel's military response to the deadly attack by Hamas. The censure is more of a symbolic move, but it comes at a time when this conflict is forcing many people and lawmakers to take sides. Still ahead, what a new report shows about the number of babies in the U.S. born with syphilis. Plus, the CDC says now is the perfect time to get vaccinated against 3 contagious viruses. Those stories next. Topping today's Health Watch, U.S. public health officials are calling for an urgent action to cut an alarming increase in the number of babies born with syphilis. The CDC reports more than 3,700 babies were born with syphilis in the U.S. in 2022. That's a 32% increase from the year before and a 1,000% increase since 2012. The CDC is calling on the entire medical community, not just obstetricians and gynecologists, to help find and treat infected people to protect newborns. The countdown to Thanksgiving is on, and right now the CDC says you're in the best window to get vaccinated to protect yourself and your family for the holidays. Michael George reports.
Getting ready for the Thanksgiving holiday may include more than shopping, prepping, and serving.
I am the parent of a toddler, so always extra aware of times of the year where sickness is abundant.
The CDC says this 2-week run-up to Turkey Day is the best time to get vaccinated for COVID, flu, and RSV.
We know we're going to see more flu starting to circulate and more COVID. So right now is a great time for you to get vaccinated. That way your body can build up its protection ahead of the holiday season.
CDC Director Dr. Mandy Cohen got her COVID shot last month and acknowledged COVID vaccine uptake in the U.S. is a little slow.
I know folks want to leave COVID in the rearview mirror, but unfortunately it is still here and is still causing folks to get very sick and even die.
The CDC says it's seeing an uptake in flu shots in line with recent years, mainly because people are used to it and have made it part of their routine. The CDC says it expects to see flu, COVID, and RSV all circulating at the same time this season. But how severely could depend on vaccination levels.
I have already done it. As soon as they were available, I went and got them.
There are additional precautions we can all take for Thanksgiving gatherings. If you're sick, stay home, wear a mask, increase ventilation, and even consider a meal outside.
It's really about who are you, what's your personal risk, and who are you going to be around.
Food for thought and for a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The RSV shot is recommended for adults 60 and over. Pregnant people can get a vaccine to protect babies, or newborns can receive preventative antibodies. And that is a look at today's health news. Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and a little later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about why dogs circle before laying down.
Well, it definitely turned out to be another mild or warm day. Temperatures near record highs for us today. Quite a bit of sunshine. We're looking outside. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam, one of our newer tower cams, downtown Joplin, looking off toward the north and to the east. Quite a bit of sunshine for us over the past couple days. Look at our temps. Yesterday, we set a record high. We made it into the lower 80s. We did it again for us today, right back up into lower 80s during the afternoon. All right, but look at our temperatures. They are tumbling. We're still 80 in Cassville, 83 at Grand Lake, but 76 in Pittsburgh. We're at 66 in Yates Center. You can see the northerly winds, so this is ushering in some cooler air, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the next few days. Now, when I say cooler air, we're just talking about temperatures back to where they should be for this time of the year. 77 northwesterly winds at 18, gusts near 26, so we're having gusts at times 30 to about 35 miles per hour. Visibility is good, 10 miles, of course. We've had pretty much clear skies, but look at the winds, very breezy all day long. Now they're switching out of the north. It's going to stay breezy once again as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. In fact, if we look at our future wind gust, let's move to early tomorrow morning. Still, gusts are going to be in that 30 to 35 mile per hour range. Now, as we get into tomorrow evening, they'll start to calm down a little bit, but let's call Thursday another breezy day across the region. If you are getting out this evening, we'll slide back through the 70s, 60s, 50s, eventually into the mid-40s later on tonight, but pretty much clear skies. We have a couple little clouds which are pushing in. Besides that, we look pretty good. You can see a few showers across parts of Nebraska and Iowa, but this is not really going to affect us. Now, if we look across Texas, look at the clouds increasing, a few showers. So this moisture is going to combine with this cold front that is rolling through right now. So this is going to give us some clouds tomorrow. We may get a few random sprinkles, but overall, it's just going to cool down. All right, let me walk you through time. Let's stop tomorrow morning. Temperatures mid-40s, a lot of clouds. By the time we get to the noon hour, we're into the mid to upper 50s, but you can see mostly cloudy skies. Now, a few showers skirting our far southern counties tomorrow afternoon. I think most of us will stay dry, but if you get a sprinkler or two, I mean, it's definitely very possible. As we go into tomorrow night, we'll start to clear out. Look at our temps. We drop back upper 30s to near 40, and then as we go into Friday, not a bad day. High temps right around 60, pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year. So 50 at 9 a.m., 57 by 1, 54 by 5 p.m. Of course, a lot of clouds as we go into the daytime hours for us tomorrow. We could see a sprinkle, but we do clear out and we look pretty good as we head into the weekend. Look at this, 62 Friday, 63 Saturday, and then warming into the upper 60s by the second half of the weekend into early next week. But all in all, pretty nice fall-like weather. Dow?
Doug, thanks. Coming up, what new research shows about the affordability of the house? Topping today's Consumer Watch, discouraging news for potential home buyers. New research shows this is the least affordable housing market since 1984, when Ronald Reagan was president. The report from Intercontinental Exchange shows more of a person's household income goes toward paying a mortgage than in recent years. High interest rates and the high cost of housing are to blame. Nike is suing some of its rivals, accusing them of patent infringements. The company filed lawsuits against New Balance and Skechers, claiming the brands copied its fly-knit technology methods for making the tops of sneakers. Nike says its method has been known as the most groundbreaking sneaker innovation in the last 40 years, and competitors are disregarding its patent by using it. The complaint says Nike has also filed similar lawsuits against other companies in the past, such as Adidas and Puma, which were both settled. The primary elections early next year. Facebook parent Meta is cracking down on deep fakes used in political ads. Meta will require political advertisers worldwide to disclose any use of artificial intelligence in their ads starting in 2024. The move hopes to limit the use of deceptive deep fakes and other digitally altered and intentionally misleading content. Our Pet Vet on Call, next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, how a Marine veteran in his 30s got to live out his football dream. Then on KOAM News at 6, a federal court sentences a Neosho, Missouri man in a kidnapping conspiracy case. Plus, we're going to hear more from former residents of Pitcher, Oklahoma, 10 years after the town was officially dissolved. And it's a big day for area high school athletes signing to play in college. We're going to see who's going where. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. A lot of us have our own bedtime rituals, but not exactly like those of our pets. Today's question for our Pet Vet on Call: why do dogs often circle before lying down?
Well, I think the scientists think that it's instinct from a behavior where dogs turn around until they find the proper angle to see predators coming at them to be more safe. I think that's way too scientific-y. It doesn't make sense to me. Dogs outside would sleep in the grass or in thick brush or something. They circle around to make a little comfortable little pocket for them to lay down. Kind of like when people pound their pillow to make that perfect divot for their heads. It's more comfortable.
We invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, all you have to do is send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week from the Joplin Humane Society. Nola there is a 1 to 2 year old female shepherd mix with a high energy level and also a great big smile, as you see. And we also have Gobi, a male short-haired kitten. Look at that. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? Let's check in now with Doug Heddy for a final look at the forecast.
Well, it's definitely going to be a much cooler day on Thursday, but still not bad. High temps right around 60 degrees. We are going to have a lot of clouds. Could see a random sprinkle during the afternoon. Not a big deal. 40 Thursday night, up to 62 on Friday. But look at this. As we head into the weekend, we get plenty of sunshine. Temperatures very typical for this time of the year. Highs mainly into the mid-60s, pushing 70 degrees.
Doug, thanks. That weekend looking great. Thank you for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.